Welcome back to the Salt Circle, a space to protect, a center to amplify. I am your guide, Daniela. In our last journey together, we performed the crucial work of identifying and creating a safe inner sanctum for your wounded fae, that luminous core aspect of our being. We established a protective grove where it could exist without judgment. Today, our sacred work evolves from sanctuary to sovereignty. We return to that hallowed ground to build its focal point of power, its hearth, its heart. Today, we learn to construct and consecrate the Psyche's altar. What is this altar? What is the purpose of the altar, the seat of communion? It's not merely a metaphor. It is an intentional, energetic structure you will learn to build in your consciousness. Psychologically, it is the stable vantage point of your sovereign witness, that core of primordial awareness that can observe the maelstrom of your thoughts and emotions without being consumed by them. Esoterically, this altar is your personal nexus of power. It is the silent, immovable stone where you can learn to differentiate the truth of your being from the weather you experience. It is where you begin the disciplined, devotional practice of communing with your deepest wisdom, and upon which the unshakable architecture of your inner strength is truly built upon. So now we consecrate the ground, the lore of word and the lore of witness. The first principle, the gaze of the sovereign witness. So before laying a single stone, the ground must be made holy. The presence that consecrates the ground of your altar is your own sovereign witness. This is the silent, unmoving peak within you that remains untouched by the blizzard of your thoughts or the tempests of your emotion. This witness does not need to approve or to disapprove. Its very nature is pure, unjudgmental awareness. The simple, deliberate act of embodying this witness, of showing up to your inner landscape with this quiet gaze, is the initial blessing that will make all further work possible. The second principle, the incantations of naming. With the ground consecrated, we now learn to wield our most potent tool, the word. Modern psychology calls this affect labeling, noting how naming an emotion can calm the brain's alarm centers. This is true, but it is a clinical echo of a far more ancient principle. Consider the deep lore encoded in our language. The word spell, as in magic, shares a root word with to spell, the act of arranging letters. A grimoire, or a tome of magical knowledge, is a cousin to the word grammar. This is not coincidence. It is the lingering memory of a primordial truth, that our words are incantations that structure our reality, most potently our own. The narrative you repeat about your life is the spell that shapes it. The litany of your inner critic is a form of negative self-enhancement. Today, we begin the work of becoming conscious of the spells we cast, so we can, in time, write new ones. So, the forging, or the gathering of sacred materials. Every sacred structure requires sacred materials. We do not build this altar from mundane tools, but from potent inner resources we learn to unearth, to name, and to understand. Material 1 is the lens of lucidity. The foundation of our altar, the stone upon which all else rests, is the lens of lucidity. Lucidity means clarity of thought, the ability to see things as they truly are. This lens is your capacity to perceive and name the subtle, glamorous, and illusionary spells of cognitive distortions. These distortions, the binary curse of black and white thinking, the dark prophecy of catastrophizing, the potent falsehood of emotional reasoning, are the psychic fog that obscures your inner landscape. To wield this lens is the discipline of looking at a thought and declaring, with quiet authority, I see the distortion here. In doing so, you are not fighting the thought, but seeing through it. This clarity is your foundation. Material 2, the oracular heart. Upon this foundation, we place the oracular heart. An oracle speaks profound, often cryptic truths. Your emotional triggers are the voice of this oracle. Psychologically, a trigger is a stimulus activating an old trauma network. Esoterically, it is your oracular heart speaking in the fiery, painful language of pure energy, showing you precisely where a wound needs tending. It is the map to your own buried wisdom. We will learn the notice, name, nature technique, not to silence the oracle, but to learn its language, to hear its prophecy without being consumed by its fire. And the third material is the survivor's archive. So finally, we place upon our altar the records of our endurance. These are your maladaptive coping mechanisms, your perfectionism, your avoidance, your people-pleasing. They are not character flaws. They are brilliant, often desperate strategies recorded by your younger self to ensure your survival. They are a testament to your resilience. We place this archive on the altar not to worship it, but to honor it. Through compassionate inquiry, we open the archive and ask, what was the threat for which you are the solution? We read the record, thank it for its wisdom, and then, from our sovereignty, we lovingly close the book, retiring it from its active service. Devotional practice, the communion at the altar. So this is the heart of our work, the practice that breathes life into the altar. It is not a chore, but a devotion. It is how we, like the nuns or clerics of ancient orders, tap in to our purpose. This is your daily or moment-to-moment communion. And these are the 4 movements of communion. So the 4 movements of communion are a mental and spiritual practice, which really require nothing but your reverent intention. So number 1 is the approach. In your mind's eye, see the inner sanctum from our first session, that consecrated inner sanctum from the wounded fae that we created so we can have the wounded fae or our inner child exist without judgment or shame, with complete freedom, expression, and safety, right? So in your mind's eye, see this inner sanctum, and within it, see this newly forged altar. Approach it. This is an act of consciously showing up and with purpose. The second is the offering. Choosing one thing to bring before your sovereign witness. May it be a persistent fear, a challenging thought from the archive, or an emotion reflected by the auricular heart. You are not here to fight it. You are here to make a sacred offering of it, placing it gently upon the altar to be fully seen in the light of your awareness. The third, the communion, or the act of tapping in. With your offering placed, you sit in the stillness of the witness. You quiet the analytical mind. You listen. You attune yourself to the offering. What is its core message? What memory is it tethered to? What deeper need does it represent? What wisdom is hidden in that pain? You're not necessarily looking for a sentence or an answer that you would get from, a crystal ball, but you're looking for a deep sense of knowing, a sense of understanding, or a deeper level of more patience with yourself or more clarity with yourself. A shift, a resonance in your body. This is an intuitive, introspective alignment. And then from that, the fourth is, integration, or you could call it gratitude. And it's when the communion feels complete for you in the moment. You offer gratitude to the part of you that brought the offering and to the wisdom that arose. You consciously affirm, I have received this. I am integrating this. I am not ashamed of this part of me. You then gently return your awareness to your day. You go from the inward outward once again, leaving the altar consecrated and empowered by your devotional presence. Your psyche's altar is not a static monument. It is a living, energetic reality within you, strengthened with every conscious offering and every moment of deep communion. The practice of this communion is what transforms you from a person haunted by their inner world into the wise and sovereign keeper of its mysteries. So today we have laid the foundation for our psyche's altar using the sacred materials of lucidity, of emotional resonance, and of our own survivor's archive. We have learned the devotional practice of our communion, the art of offering, of attuning, and of integrating. As we close our circle, may you feel the solid foundation of your inner altar beneath you. An unshakable truth in a changing world. May you have the courage to make offerings of your deepest shadows and the grace to receive the luminous wisdom that awaits. May you walk this week as the wise and devoted keeper of your own inner sanctum. Blessed be, my friends, and I'll see you next week.